right, it should tell you or remind you that we did a density formula way back in the very first week of the semester. It's probably about day 2 or 3. So that would be our formula. It's on the back side of our reference table. So we would want to pull out that formula. All right. So we want to find mass. So we're looking for M, which means we got to have D and V. All right. So what's our density according to this question? Can you tell me that?
I need a 4 grams.
Okay. So we're going to put 4 there. And what's the volume? Okay. So if we know that, how do we go about finding our mass? Cross multiply. So 4 times 35. 140. All right. So mass equals 140. All right. And if you look at your units, do they have anything in common? So what are the centimeters cubed going to do to each other? They're going to cancel each other out. Okay. So we're going to be left with what? G. Everybody okay with that? Yes.
Are we going to use our orange cards on the benchmark?
Yes, you will always be able to use the orange cards. The only time you won't be able to have them is the exam because they'll give you a new one and it's on that, you know, back in the day when they actually gave y'all tests. Grace, sit up here in front of Markel. All right. But back in the day when they gave you actual tests, you know, that recycled paper stuff it came on, the card that I gave you is the front page. The back side is the back page, and when you open it up, it'll be a giant periodic table. So that when, after we've studied the periodic table, when you open it up, the insert is the periodic table. Okay? But you won't be able to use the card that I give you. You'll get a fresh one on exam day. Okay? But it's identical to what you're using right now. Okay? It has the same formulas and everything in the same order. Okay? It is identical to what I've given you.
What about the thing that we wrote on it, the AMA over IMA?
You will not have that.
So you write it yourself?
Yep.
So basically a refined version of it?
It's the exact same. There's nothing different. It is identical. All right. So how long does it take a car to travel? 975 miles and 55 miles an hour. What am I asking you to find? If I say how long, I'm asking you to find time. All right. So is this speed, velocity, or what? You can use speed or velocity. Now, is speed on the reference table? No. So you might want to use velocity because velocity is on it, and you know speed and velocity are the same, right? But you can choose whichever one you want. A lot of you know the speed one is distance over time, but you also know the velocity is on the reference table, and you know it's the same formula, right? So that's why a lot of times I'll say use velocity because velocity is on the reference table, but speed is not. They're the same formulas.
Is there a reason why?
Probably because velocity is the same and they know that. That's probably why they didn't put speed on there. That'd be my best guess. So we're looking for time, which means we got to have distance and speed. So what's our distance? So we're going to put 975 on the top. And what's our speed? 55. All right. So what are we going to do to find the time? Okay, cross multiply, what do we get?
55t equals 975.
55t equals 975. So to get t, we do what? Divide by 55. 17.7. And again, check your units. What do you know is going to happen?
The miles cancel.
Miles cancel out, and we're left with hours.
Wait.
Everybody feel okay about that?
Wait.
I'm not turning. Just standing here.
Does that mean we have a chance?
We're having our test next week.
Oh, for real? Our test on it. Oh, please.
4%.
Hi, Jay's thrilled by that.
I know. That story's so boring.
It's not even a story.
Wait, we have our test today?
No, she's not here.
She's not here?
No.
Oh, I'm going home.
Okay. Test next week.
Sorry.
Hey, it's English. I got it.
Oh, y'all know it. Go ahead and get that.
But actually,
Easy.
All right. So number 3, how do we find weight?
F equals
Like a 90.
All right, F equals mg or F equals ma. You can use either one. Doesn't matter. F equals mg is the formula that says weight on your card, but F equals ma is the same formula. You choose. All right, so which letter stands for weight? F is weight. So what's the mass? And what is A or G? So what do you get when you multiply? And what unit goes on it?
I need a haircut today.
That's nice. Anybody have a question?
No.
Everybody feel okay about that?
Yes.
I can cut your hair. You just might not like it when I get done.
Oh my God.
I'm about to look like Miss Walton.
All right.
You
I've
have
got my own
like
hair. Huh?
Like, they look like her son. Well,
I'm not white.
that's her other son right there.
I wouldn't cut his hair either. He wouldn't be happy with me when I got done. My son don't let me cut his hair anymore either. All right. Questions about the open? All right. So at this point, the only people who are absent yesterday, I think, are Markel and Mario. So you two, when we go over the test, you to go out in the hallway. But let me go grab them. See what other papers I need to hand out for y'all. Huh? Yeah, I still think reviews like. They're papers. I don't need them. I like you.
I think they just do that. Keep stuff like that.
Wait, there was an elevator. It was on a wheel and
It's a place.
Oh.
Got wheels on top of
Rubber
it.
bill on the
Make them go down.
Perfect.
Great.
That's not what.
Papers, hundreds.
That's mine.
English for honors. Oh,
Why do you do that?
Mario.
Wait.
this budget is too much. I'm surprised we didn't.
When somebody.
Third one. Everything with a test grade. So warm up with a test grade. You warm up, you fail the class. I don't know. Whoa!
That was actually practice.
She is. Maybe with all.
Yeah, it was a violation.
Alright, grab the test papers. Nope, they're grades on.
Alright. Well, honestly, let's be real. Who knows that for a fact they failed that test?
I mean, honestly, I'm just want to see how bad I failed. I want to see if I barely failed or if I failed.
Fail.
Yeah, failed.
Tyler, why are you so
Need a tissue.
sketchy?
Need a tissue.
Yes, I'm just like.
Punch? Oh, yeah. That's what happened. Oh, man.
Oh, I barely failed. See, I
Yeah.
thought I bombed it.
Oh,
But I failed.
Like that most things. Two other words I can use.
I don't know. What did I get off on? Done this.
You don't even know, you need right
Did
there.
I?
They're not good though, right?
Yep, be here today and tomorrow.
Oh, no, I got these on.
What my test says.
Tyler?
Oh, I don't,
Oh, I just got the free response.
I got a 16.
Wait, this whole world will shoot.
What did you make?
I barely failed.
What did you?
I call them out here on your,
I barely
I'll hand
failed.
those out.
I just forgot how to do that.
I'm gonna go grab those and then we'll staple those too. I had a meeting this morning and I completely forgot. See, I can't print goals when you finish because they print with fourth periods. And so I have to wait till everybody's done testing and do it in the morning and I forgot them.
I hate
I'm still passing.
All right, now just a minute, you can hand this out.
Man, I hate tests. I think we all. Yo, what?
I'm gonna go to sleep for this test review. I'm not gonna go to sleep.
Very bad the bullshit.
These are really.
I'm gonna tell you what the answers are.
Alright.
And then just give me these cells when you get to hers.
I'm surprised how good I did. How bad I thought I was gonna do. I thought I was gonna get like a 20.
Alright, once Nigel gives you your answer sheet back, I will call out the answers since I forgot to print.
Can I read you guys my thesis statement?
No. We do not care what your piece of statement is.
I can't go. Oh, can I have a sticky note? Actually, I need one. I wasn't working.
You went any of those assemblies this fall?
Who's
No, I am class. Well, I could go to
Grace.
the freshman one.
Miss Walker's Ashley.
Who?
Her.
Grace.
I hate you. You knew that.
Okay.
I honestly forgot your name.
I changed Mario's. Changed.
Mario, think of me like that, boy. Do it.
What? I'm gonna smash that.
Noise.
I swear, I
For the
will.
rest of your life.
I will rip you pieces out of
Look at that.
I just got to play with the girl in our
I've
mouth.
seen them.
Oh! What was on that?
You better beat her up.
Bro, she's
She's cute, but she's a good company.
Hey, no concept of
Young man. You gonna eat that? Which one? Cowboy meat? Hey.
This wall.
Yeah.
I've never heard the name.
Jose.
That's polite.
Alright, Grace, your name's now been changed to be not Ashley anymore.
Thank you.
I'm still calling you.
Yeah, I'm so.
Alright. I need to send Markel and Mario outside.
That's what, ow, my God.
Go outside, pull the door closed.
I think I was caution as well.
Alright, let me find zip right here.
I'm surprised my tax is only cost $300. I'm getting a heart on my arm and I'm getting it
Pull closed.
like so like it's gonna look like
Is she a SpongeBob?
Alright, if you want the answers so you can do test corrections. If you're never gonna do test corrections, or you don't wanna ask any questions, you don't need to mark
When
it
do
off.
when do we do test corrections?
After school.
Oh, we're not gonna.
Nobody's staying today.
I can't even come out of school.
Alright, number one, C, mark it on your bubble sheet. 1 is C, 2 is B, 3 is D, 4 is C, 5 is D, 6 is A, 7 is C, 8 is D, 9 is B, 10 is A. I'm trying to watch
Yeah.
Excel as a marker too,
Can you
so.
repeat that?
What, can you repeat 8?
Which one?
8.
8 is D.
Oh my God, I guess they got it right.
I don't even know. What we're supposed to write?
That was number 3.
I used to write mark it on the bubble sheet on the test.
I don't care which one you mark it on. I'm marking on Excel
Can you
spreadsheet.
repeat it then?
I am not doing 1 through 10. Ask somebody who's listening. 11 is A, 12 is D, 13 is D, 14 is C, 15 is
See, you're
B,
going too fast.
D or B?
You're going way too
B is in boy.
Oh.
16 is C, 17 is B is in boy, 18 is A, 19 is C, 20 is A, 21 is A, 22 is C, 23 is A, 24 is
Way too fast.
Wait.
I saw you right in the window. Let's walk. Can I get some water?
Now,
Please?
yes.
Please.
Now, if you will be so kind, when I hand the stapler around, staple your answer sheet to the test, that will be fabulous.
Did you say 24 was D or B?
24 is D is in dog.
Yes. I got that.
Here you go, you
I
can
thought
take it.
I missed one. Oh, well.
I said staple the answer sheet to the back of the test.
It's okay.
Don't stop.
Oh, they gonna leave me alone.
There's no way to do test corrections. That's not after school. What was it? Kind of did, but not too much though. You really, you work? First of all, yeah, you ever had a job on it?
Pass the stapler on.
And them all outside. And the whole thing. Depend on her.
Yeah, you gotta find the worst first.
No,
You
you
would
have
do
to.
So the daddy.
You would say 4 times 15 and find the work. Once you're in that, then you would say power equals work over time. You would take the 10.3, take this answer.
I have looked at, but I wasn't mine.
Yep.
Oh.
Anybody else? Anybody see?
Can you explain to me?
Which one? 2?
Why did she come over? Because I thought she was calling her initially.
Oh, wait a minute. I was
Anybody else?
Why are you frowning at me?
This is the one I just showed. You're up. You've already penciled. All right. You're gonna do work equals force times distance.
Wait, what?
Dude, I'm 654 times 15.
I'll just text you. It'll be easy.
Okay.
Okay. And you're gonna do power equals work over time. And answer that.
You shut up.
So 54 times. Put it up. Again, bro. Times 15. Okay, so 96,
Wait, y'all,
75.
it's 12,
So then
12.
you're gonna take 96.75, which is the work, divided by the time, which is 10.3.
Just change.
I'm dead.
Is there any way we can do test correction for like, not after school, because I get like days?
Well, I guess you can come during lunch. Can't be told that.
Oh.
All right, if you're done looking at your test, hand me your test papers back.
Both of them?
Stay over together.
You gotta say that.
Go over here and stay.
Did everybody have to say that?
Yes, you were apparently in the hallway when the stapler went by you.
Everything goes by me, you know. What was I gonna do? Oh, yeah, do you have a charger?
No, it's the first.
Where's the stapler?
Up here, Jose.
What's good? Let's walk, can I get my phone?
You can come in, we're done.
Oh, yeah. So, wait, staple my papers?
Thank you.
Oh, real minute papers. Bring me grass. There we go.
All right, find your notes on energy. We're gonna put these up, then we're gonna move on. Yep, we are in a few minutes. Oh, we'll be here. None of us will be here.
Mother trucker duty. Great.
She will make me move.
All right. Find your notes.
Did you pick up on Did you?
So I'm gonna borrow your highlighter. That's okay.
Probably not. When did we take these notes?
You won't need it for right now.
We took it when I-
Yeah, me.
Here, I think it was
Yeah.
Friday.
We're not going to do much but review for a second, then we're going
Was it Saturday?
to, you might need it at the end of class, so you can get it
Wait,
done.
is the scavenger hunt like in here or on the computer?
On the computer. Grace, what is your problem today?
Huh?
I said, what is your problem today?
What's your?
My problem?
Oh,
Yeah. Are you making all that noise?
I was watching
Oh, from Nigel?
Yeah, I got notes.
Okay.
I take notes in here.
I was watching a video on like the Cold War, and he said like, what if they dropped like a bomb on Manhattan?
It's
It was so like depressing and sad. Like, I think you should watch it. But they did.
I was just going to ask if this was relevant, but at least it was sort of relevant. All right. So on Friday, I guess it was. All right. We talked about energy. All right. We said we could see energy as what? And we could hear energy as, and we could feel energy as, and we could use energy as when we move. Okay? Yes, Tyler.
Would a bomb be considered energy? Like,
When it goes off, it releases energy.
so it was,
The bomb itself is not energy.
when it releases, that's energy.
Yes. Okay. You need to stop with these irrelevant comments and let us move on. All right. What is energy? The ability to do work. All right. So when we do work, we use what? Energy. So when we went to the next slide, which I'll talk about in a second, we said in order to do work, on this test that Mario and Markel have to make up, what were the two requirements to do work? What are the two requirements to do work? You had to have a force moving a distance
And a
and a parallel or same direction. Okay? So in order to use energy, you have to do work, right? So you have to keep those same things in mind. Yes, Derek. You have any hall passes left?
You all pass.
But while it's quiet, you just have some.
It appears that you do.
Ooh.
Take the vest.
Do I have the same unit as work?
All right. So what's the unit for work then? If we have to use energy to do work, and if we do work, we use energy, what's the unit? Joules. Okay? So from there, we gave some examples, and we're not going to run through a bunch of examples. But in order to use energy, again, you have to do work. Okay? So if we have to do work in order to use energy, you have to move a distance, and it has to move in the same direction. So when we lift luggage and put it in an overhead compartment, or we lift groceries and we set them on the counter at home, are we doing work?
Yeah.
So if we do work, we use energy. When we carry a baby, are we doing work?
No.
So are we using energy? No. Okay, you have to do work in order to use energy. All right, so the law of conservation of energy. We said energy is not created or destroyed, it is what? Transferred. Okay, we said we were going to look at kinetic and potential, and we're going to look at some of the things in the scavenger hunt and how it's transferred there. Now, I told you to write down the 5 types of energy. Did you write those down?
Yeah.
Five. That's what we're going to pick up with the scavenger hunt. Yeah.
All notes.
That's all we took on Friday. If you were here Friday, you have all that.
We got laptops.
Yeah, and this should not take us but about 15 minutes. Should be quick. And then we're going to play a game in a little classroom, which is quick. Take that phone. You can hold that. Yep. And I put helpful websites in Google Classroom. And the dustbin drag game we're gonna play is in Google Classroom too. Yep. I'm here for there. Who sits here? Grace, I put one back there, so I don't get to give her one. All right, Yavian's back there, so I need 3. Mario and Blue. And who's that?
Oh, what's that?
Nigel. Stop. It's like a weird bell service.
That's not Nigel, bro.
Right, it's hella not him.
It's actually.
It's him.
What?
Not.
It wasn't Nigel.
When I was 11, I turned 13.
Right.
I know where you saw it. Can I help you?
Google Classroom?
Yep.
It's gone.
Will we ever get to a point in this class where like we're not doing that?
Yes. We have 2 equations in this unit, and then once we finish that, there are only 3 left.
Oh.
So we're getting close to the end. 2 of them are in electricity, and 1 of them is in waves, and then we're done.
And then what do we do?
Stuff with the periodic table. Magnetism has none, and then we're all in the periodic table kind of stuff. Bonding, chemical equations, that stuff.
That sounds kind of interesting.
Some people like it better, some people don't.
Do you like it?
I like it, but it's not as hands-on as this stuff is. I mean, we still do stuff, but it's more cut, glue, paste kind of stuff.
What is, that's hands-on?
Okay.
Just well, which one is it?
Hold on, now look.
So, okay, we're going to waves now.
Hold on, let me do that.
Malik, come get this.
Which time?
I could have done that.
Which time?
That's like when I tell my children to get their brother or sister for dinner and they stand in the kitchen and yell at the top of their
I didn't
lungs.
want to roll.
I could have done that too.
You could have.
I didn't want to roll over there.
That would be less effort. Energy type.
I was scared.
That's what it's called?
Why are you saying missing like I was in your class?
What that was cool, my kid.
I think this is it.
It looks live in person.
Because he wouldn't care if like, if they like, you know, it's like, got something like, he wouldn't care.
Let's hope he does.
And he calls it.
Like, what's the name?
Still loading.
What's your classroom called before?
Physical science.
There you go. Are there any capital?
You need a class code.
Yes.
Y,
Which scavenger hunt is it?
I'm looking.
It's
Y6 C 0 L E.
You did?
Right. All right, where
I
are we
think
going?
I've seen you too.
Okay, Taco Bell. Where we go?
Yeah.
Not the Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A.
Where do we go?
No.
I don't know.
The one right that's.
I don't know.
The only thing on here is
Well,
the
it
energy
says-
conservation radio.
What's that?
I've got one that says energy conversion video.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
I'm on.
That's me teaching about up, down, minimum, maximum.
What are we?
Build the atom game.
I see one that says energy types website.
That's the one I'm on.
Where?
Right.
Is that what we're supposed to use? To fill this out?
Yeah, there's one that says practice energy types just been dragged, but that's the game. Right above it is Energy Type's website. No,
Oh.
You know what? You know what you're-
amazing.
Right.
You're killing me, Malik.
You're killing us.
Come on now. Come on, Mario.
I hear like,
Are we going to?
oh, we can use headphones?
It says, right there, Energy Types. Yeah. Let's see if I can find somebody in fourth period, so if I gotta find the key. Why don't you do your work and stop worrying about your phone?
Energy Types website.
Before you flunk my class and I request that you get back in my class next year.
Oh my God.
Because yes, I'd be that hateful.
We just gonna show you, see when we're done.
Yep.
This one.
Google Classroom, that's like a really getting. But Energy Types websites.
Can I get some water? Thank you. Are you moving? Go to camera. Go to the two.
I'm just looking at it.
I'm talking about that chicken. He's a girl.
Okay. Right there. That's under crappy. The machine scavenger hunt. On the JD's paper.
Well, so maybe I have to do my second.
Oops. Sorry. Can you get it? There's more.
Look at it.
What am I doing now?
Go play the game.
Yeah.
Right above or right under. Okay.
This is like almost my natural. Last year? In that?
It's okay.
And had it really good. Okay, what was that? Rest. You can erase that pen? It's black magic. Damn it. Sometimes I can actually go back.
Bless you. Bless you. How many times do we play this?
I'll let you do that on me.
I tend to think once is sufficient to cover them all.
She would.
Well, I'm done with that too. Do I need this anymore?
Would fire count as a, thermal energy?
It also fits as chemical.
Well, the point of how many people is that your parents are your parents. You know? I know. No. What is it?
Finding out to say here. Yes. I'm not talking to you.
Ridiculous.
She's going to the doctor. You know how she had the flu.
Daycare, we get kids
Alright, how many times did you play the game over here, Yum? Played at least twice.
But at least.
You're gonna be asked about examples, like,
There's such things.
you know what they are. You told the weather was run break. Works that way every time.
I think it's fucking nice.
Alright, you need to play the game at least twice.
That's 11 times. Like 2 minutes.
What's it on Google Classroom?
Yeah, it's a Google Classroom.
She wouldn't have to do that too. It's trash.
The line says dustbin drag. It's right there above the boy. It's like,
What's it, is it filled with Adam?
What's it called though?
dustbin drag. The trash can, you're essentially gonna drag types into various trash cans.
Oh, it's in Google Classroom. Oh, yes. Yeah,
What's blocked there?
Can. Okay.
Okay, Ms. Wall, I'll get that.
That was your score.
I had 77 the first time, and then 60 the second time.
That's not that stellar.
It's, well, I was struggling, okay,
You didn't do the third time, you're struggling.
about the first time.
I don't think 60's all that stellar.
Well, the thing.
I mean, I wouldn't write home about 60. Just saying.
No, Jay, let me see.
We'll play Dustbin Drag at least twice.
Forty-eight.
I got 48.
Huh?
I got 48.
That's a lot better. See if you can't get under 50.
Wait, so you have to get low?
Huh?
You have to get a low score?
The lower the better. What'd you get, Jose?
100.
That says to me, it wasn't all that hot. Why don't you do it again?
Twice.
You did it twice. Do it the third time. Huh? Yes, possibly. Depends on how far down the agenda we get.
I asked you, no.
What do you like? The fire is burning.
Especially me.
Nikki. 132, that's way worse than mine.
132.
That is way
Dang.
Taking my time.
We shouldn't be shocked. Look at how long it took her to go up the stairs. Okay,
Oh, you would.
go play the game. Ashley, are you and,
Ashley?
I'm sorry, Grace, are you and Nigel going to show me your work?
Yeah.
Did Trevor have any work?
Yeah.
Can you get a 0?
He'll wipe the slobber off his face. I do not have a doctor, they're on class.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Stop.
Can you get a 0 on it?
Can you get a 0 on it, on the game? No. Have I tried to get a 0? No.
Why don't you know?
Tyler, how many times have you played the game? Huh? How many times have you done the game?
I just got on.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Why do we
Keep
laugh?
asking. Oh, I believe you. I just checked.
Wait a minute.
You just checked my paper though.
57 is not stellar.
It's
It
better than a 60.
That's why, why do we laugh?
Huh?
Why do we laugh?
Find the humorous.
Yeah.
What the world? Where did this come from?
Where did what come from?
Where did that question come from?
I don't know. Hanging out with Tyler too long.
Oh, yeah, Tyler,
Yeah.
yeah.
What did I do?
Nothing. Until you get to a mistake of 0. Are you bringing me the paper or not, dude?
Yeah, all on here, live at the Hive.
Put this down. Put the pencil back up there.
This is a pen.
It's a computer pen.
I think I did the wrong type of interview. Oh, I'm good at
Don't have it in the center. It needs to be off to the left and the right.
I just did the first step of 5.
Why is that? Wasn't it center?
Nothing except it's a little bar that splits it.
What's supposed to be here?
Another pen.
What happened to it?
Broke.
So it can nice thing.
They hit the floor and they break. Did you copy down the 5 that on the board? I know.
This is backwards.
Let me see what you have on that.
How do you make it forwards on here?
Honestly, that's what I did. That's how I got like.
I'm confused.
10 or 5 you're supposed to have.
Okay, cool, great.
Megan Oven.
Go play the game before you fall asleep.
30.
That's much better.
Okay, I like to do that.
She's played it 4 times. Eduardo, you gonna show me yours?
Yeah.
You ready?
What?
Did you hand him yours to copy or is he handing you yours
It's
to
an
copy?
empty sheet.
All right, well, this is empty then.
I messed up.
Look.
I messed up.
So who has an empty sheet? Is it just an extra? Oh, it must be Joseph, so he's not doing his. So Joseph is taking a 0 today. Shocking.
Do I have to do those 5?
I had some already.
You have to do the 5 that are on the board.
Those are the first 5. Okay,
Okay.
let's go play
What'd you score?
9 to 5.
Dang! Oh, good. Do it at least twice.
So first
And if
I
it
was
sucks the
like,
second time, do it a third
No,
time.
it's because I'm taking my time.
Okay. If it sucks that bad the second time, do the third time.
No, it's just slow at dragging.
take care.
Come on. Look.
Eduardo, let me see yours.
I'm so
Let me
ready.
see yours.
So,
I don't have binoculars, I have glasses.
I need to do one more.
Okay,
I'm ready 50.
Sure.
You like to 80?
that's not bad.
First one.
Elizabeth, how'd you do on the game?
86.
Play it again. Then tell me the score. That's pretty hideous.
Wait, so is it
Odell, how'd you
Is
do?
it lower the number?
Yeah.
A what?
85.
Play it again, that's equally hideous.
I got a 1.
You can't get a 1.
Bet I just
It's
did.
not even a real
I
score.
got a perfect score.
I need to see Grace and Nigel's paper.
What's the lowest score you can get?
I don't know,
'Cause I got a 33.
that's pretty good.
You got what?
33. Every game. First try.
That's not bad.
I got a B now.
I think something was on this.
Yeah.
Is there a eraser right there? Yeah.
All right, you see where your feet are pushed up?
Yeah.
See if there's an eraser in there to go on pencils.
In here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Okay.
Joseph, you can go put your laptop up. I don't know what you even have one for.
Why is it yellow now?
I have no idea. Oh, why? Because you touched that. Oh, it'll change colors.
It's easy to go with the foot.
You can have these. I
Well,
won't
how do you
sit
just
in.
ignore all these noises?
And why is Nigel blank right here?
That's kidding.
I ain't done yet.
Man, I can't get.
You don't need to be sitting over there with Nigel so you can work.
I can't get.
What do you think? The whole thing is not done.
That's the best.
Okay.
Well, we can't get anything.
Then you need to finish and bring it to me when you're done, Nigel.
Huh?
Then you need to finish and bring it to me when you're done. Would you stop playing on the board?
Damn, camera.
Right, you already know.
All that-
This is my physical science class right here.
Yeah, get off. Straight.
I'll teach.
Before you swear words or something on the screen.
No, because I won't write it. I won't say.
You
I'll,
probably did.
no, I didn't. I'll just cut it off. I'll just cut it out. And besides, nobody watches it live. I'll get you some viewers though.
Did you play the game yet?
You post all of the videos?
Yep.
Really?
No.
Well, sometimes
Okay,
it
that's
don't.
why. You're a great learner.
Hey.
Yeah.
Dirty.
What's your score on the game?
Oh, no, no.
Oh, dear God.
I played
Yes.
Is it that?
It's lower the number. higher the
So
score.
The lower the timer, the higher you score.
So far, I had like 4.
Mine's not going into the bins. Like, I'll click it on the bins and it'll be like, nope. That's wrong.
It's not right. That's right. That's what it means when it doesn't go in the bin. It means the answer's wrong.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, he do the office.
I thought it was
I was a D cell
Oh my God. I thought he was really.
I'm not even saying my score.
I remember I called it accidentally in sophomore year.
Girl, if you don't get your hair away.
So what?
I called it accidentally because I didn't know what the
It's
button
the
did.
way
Play again.
So like I just went like this and like went like that.
Play it
And
again.
it just glowed. I was like, they heard me. And then they went on the intercom and were like,
Oh my God.
No, my timer started. I'm just trying to stretch. Oh my God.
You guys.
For what?
Because he called me by accident because he didn't know what that was.
Oh my God.
Who? Who?
No, I said.
not now.
Like,
I was like a long
Mine
time.
was nuts.
You have my SS?
I didn't.
No, not her.
some girl got ISS for the junior assembly.
Who?
Some girl in the
Oh,
junior
yeah,
assembly.
Alicia.
Yeah, I had to go to
What
both.
was she saying?
She's like, I'm a cheerleader.
So she was just like,
Why was she saying?
she said damn, and they said ISS.
Oh, you got a pointer stick?
What did you get? 13?
I thought you-
A 30? But what was she saying? Like, why it's hard?
Something dramatic.
And she was like, I'm a junior. But at first she said a cuss word. She was like, Mr. Red, watch me.
I don't know, maybe she was like,
And then she made it worse.
before she was walking out, she was like, I'll show you.
Stop.
Yeah.
Put my stuff up.
A bunch of stuff.
Where did you even get that?
Yeah, she got. Y'all remember when they had this at the book fair? I wanted one so bad. It was like a big one. I remember, like it was like this big. I wanted it, but I never got it.
You should use
I used to love her.
All right.
You already given me
Yeah. He can't just favor to your own. You really think he's gonna turn it in?
No, huh? No.
Bro, this is Asian.
Dang.
They don't even make
How do you
it.
have-
They don't even make
That is
it.
85 from the.
Boom.
Let me see. I'm a little teacher.
Play the Dustbin Drag game.
Oh, yeah,
Go play it again. That score sucks.
Why were we sitting there being like that?
Elizabeth, what was your new score?
77.
Do it a third time. Oh, Janelle, what was yours?
73.
They shouldn't do it. It
shouldn't be
Put it
based
down.
on time. It should be based on.
What about?
I got
All right, y'all not giving me better.
I got a 58.
That's better.
You know.
I was on for 38, so I mean,
What's up?
Okay, you tied Jaya for the worst.
This is old.
no.
Listen, I didn't know it was
Bro,
time.
don't these look scary though?
Like I didn't know the
It looks
time
scary.
was before.
They're metal.
I
They're
was like,
metal. I feel like an old, like crazy.
I got
Alright, I'm ready to go.
I'm doing good. I said you said it right.
The low score seems to be a 33.
That's because they're cheating.
That's me.
You're not cheating. How do you cheat?
Listen.
Wait, do we have to tell you our score?
Yes.
Alright.
Then what do we do?
Mine was 45.
45 is pretty good.
Don't lie, man.
Well, I've been asking. I've been doing nothing
Don't lie,
already.
man.
I got the right.
Guys, what
You
is the
can't get a
cost?
6.
Car is off. One time I agree.
Kill a cat.
No kidding.
That's because you're right.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
What's the bathroom heater?
Damn.
Go ahead.
I know, I was like, trying to play it.
They called you guys, by the way.
Yeah, there we go.
What? What did you get?
right, right. Can't stand
Can
it.
I do it?
Anybody got less than 33?
I got 4.
I can't move.
I wish. Who got 33? I did. I did.
These
I
two.
got 32.
You got 33?
Who got a 32?
I got
She ain't played yet.
Derek.
Are you proud of you as well? I actually was awake and did work today.
I know.
You got food?
But slept, but then I was super blue.
We got.
But that would went in.
Calculate.
It's not a basketball goal.
31.
I thought I made it in the little cup for a second. I was like,
Oh, I got 31.
I can get my 20s if it's something.
So we mark is done when it's done or not?
No, you don't have to mark it. Mario, stop that.
Stop!
Alright, bet.
All right, so the last person I need something from is Urelli.
47 good enough?
47 is good enough for you not to have to do it again.
Grace, wait, does Grace have to do it again?
What'd you get?
99.
Yes.
That's so bad.
Well, I can't say that for the first time.
She says after that she got.
If your score is higher than like 70, you need to play it again.
Said after that she got.
I was a
You got what?
I got a 53.
53 is fine.
I'm 30. Boom.
Give me.
Get out of the after school snacks. And you're putting your bare hands in there.
I haven't even got it.
No.
That's for me.
Come after school.
Right,
you
that's
have
the
snacks.
I can't do that.
Well, you can't have no snacks.
You ain't got no stuff.
Hey, man.
Be going.
This is my seat.
You got a whole
Too bad.
20 minutes.
This is my new seat. Call.
All right.
We are done. I really want that.
Those of you who are done with your laptops, put them up. We're not going to get to number 7, so
We're not gonna do this.
yeah, we're going to do that. But we're going to do Plickers. We're not going to get to number 7. So those of you who are still playing the game, finish the round that you're on. Those of you who are finished playing, put it up. Okay? Because we're not going to get to class photo. How'd you do?
Oh,
got
How'd you get to it?
We are taking
It
it.
took me out of things.
Just discuss, bro. We're not discussing anything.
How did you use the name? What's on yours? What are you doing?
Oh no. I tried to make this bigger back over here and then that happened. I tried. This is what I did. I like hovered over it by accident and then my arm touched this thingy and that thing went like that. And then I touched it 3 times and then that happened. So that's what we're yes.
See?
Alright, boy.
If he cheating me,
You gotta say it.
Bro.
There you go. Start.
okay.
Can I get some water?
No.
Yeah, sure,
Can I get some water first?
Okay, well, after this, I'm not. I got me.
This one I got a 30. I gotta beat the other.
What you get?
Well, you two cannot race each other the rest of the class.
Okay, this is my last. What are we doing
And guess
now?
what? I'm not spending $300 on a tattoo. My mom and my
I'm
mom.
gonna make sure you have the key points.
I'm at least gonna have a sleeve when I'm wearing.
Alright, so keep your notes out. Now, what key points should you have for mechanical?
29.
Alright, for mechanical, does everybody have that it has to have motion? Alright, does everybody have it has to have motion?
Yeah.
So, if you didn't use that word, make sure that you do.
What about you?
It has to be moving.
What about you?
Movement is fine. As long as you understand the mechanical energy has to have movement. If it does not have movement, it is not mechanical energy. Okay? So, the examples I put do not have to be the same examples you put. Now, one that you need to make sure you put on your note sheet. This can be written on your squares. You do not have to write this in your notes. Okay? Did everybody include sound as one of their examples under mechanical energy?
No.
Okay? Sound is mechanical energy. So if it's an instrument, if it's music, if it's people talking, it's mechanical energy. Okay? It doesn't have to be just somebody playing sports or riding a bike or a waterfall or anything like that. It can be sound. Sound is mechanical energy. I love the way y'all are writing in your notebook. What did y'all just fill out?
I don't want those.
Hey, I added sound to it.
Oh, okay. Don't ask. Why are we doing them then? I thought y'all would use those. Might as well skip doing those things. What? What'd you get?
I like them.
Do it again.
What's for lunch? Does anybody know?
I think it's like.
No, and I looked at the teacher's lounge. I didn't find the menu.
I think it's like
For what? Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Make sure you don't get in Rector's way though.
Don't get her away.
Yeah, teachers get preference on the microwave. Alright. So, for thermal energy. Alright, we're going to talk about thermal energy or heat next week. Okay? This is energy due to the internal motion of the molecules. Okay? So, any of y'all have practice after school today?
I do.
Alright.
I do.
So when you go to practice, y'all are going to run around or do something. What's going to happen to the particles inside your body? Are they going to move faster or slower? They're going to move faster, so you're going to feel how? You're going to feel hot or warmer, okay? You're going to feel warmer. So thermal energy is about internal motion. When you move around, you will feel warmer. Most of the time, you guys tell me it's cold in my classroom because what do most of the time the students do in classes?
Stay still.
That's much better. You can put it up. You sit still. If you sit still, what happens to the particles in your body? They slow down, so you have the sensation that you feel cold. Okay? Now, more movement makes you feel heat. Okay? So, whenever you move more, you feel warmer, which is why we get hot when we go to practice. All right? Or for me, I don't feel as cold as most of you do, simply because what am I doing most of the time? I'm up there teaching, I'm moving, so I'm not going to feel cold. Okay? So I put down examples like, we're going to talk about state changes. Y'all might remember melting or boiling. We're going to talk about those things later next week. Some of y'all wrote friction. I wrote that. All right? I put sunning, like sitting out in the sun and just warming yourself. When we had the fire drill, not really the fire drill, but the fire issue a couple weeks ago when we had the fire. Oh, okay, fire. But I made sure I stood in the sun. I didn't stand in the shade of the tree because I was cold. I didn't take my windbreaker out, and the wind was a little chilly. So I made sure I stood in the sun so that I could stay warm. Several people stayed in the shade. I was not one of them. All right, chemical energy. This one is a little harder for people to keep straight because this is energy that exists in bonds, okay? It holds atoms together. So, A lot of you probably had good examples for this because you had things like cooking or fuels. Lots of fuels fit here. Some of you might heat or use natural gas here in the city. We have a propane tank at my house because we have gas logs. I don't cook or
I
heat
have a
that
gas
way.
stove.
A lot of people do. Probably propane. It might be natural gas.
I'm scared of
If it's LP or propane, you have to know which one it is, liquid propane, or if it's natural gas, because they're not the same. You can't interchange them. We all, every single one of us, use, unless you have an electric car, use gasoline to get to school or various places around town. You ride a bus or travel by vehicle. Even if you're a Tenori and you have a moped, you use gasoline. Huh? You used to be able to get them. I don't know if you still can, but I wouldn't be surprised if you can.
I was really mad. Someone told me you couldn't get a moped unless you had a license, and then somebody just told me that's not correct. You can get a moped.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of you gotta do your research yourself.
Nah, they're saying if it's over 80 cc, you have to have a license. Then it goes so fast. But
I would not be surprised if there is a rule based on size. Yes. I would not be surprised if it's based on speed. Alright? Now, if we can move past mopeds, if you eat food and digest it, we all know that it gives us energy, and that's chemical energy. Most of us are looking forward to lunch because we're running low. All right, oops. Now, electromagnetic, all right? Now, if you did not write that down the other day, you need to include that on your charts or your notes. This includes both electrical and light, because when I looked at what most of you had written on your paper, you only included the light energy. Everybody wrote like gamma rays or UV rays or some type of electromagnetic rays that are very specific. Nobody wrote, or very few of you wrote, any type of electrical energy. Okay? Now, you can have magnets here. You can have anything to do with power lines here. You can have light. A lot of you have microwaves. But anything fits here that has to do with electricity also. All right? So, make sure that you include electricity in your examples. It does not have to be just things like ultraviolet. All right, rainbows would fit here. All right, because rainbows involve light. Light shines through a water droplet. Okay?
I've been inside the window.
Everybody caught up? All right, nuclear energy, the last one. Now, this comes from the splitting of an atom. Now, there are very few things you can list for nuclear. Okay? The biggest examples that we will talk about are the sun and stars and power plants. Everybody always wants to put nuclear weapons and bombs. All right? We don't use nuclear weapons and bombs. The only nuclear bombs that have been dropped, the United States dropped in what year? 1945, and we dropped them on Japan. Okay? Now, short of 1945, when the U.S. dropped nuclear weapons on Japan, we've not used any other nuclear weapons. Okay? They're all stored. We have them. Russia has them. There are several other countries that have them. All right? They're stockpiled. We all use them to say, if you do this thing, we will do this thing. Okay? We have not dropped any other nuclear weapons. When you see people holding weapons, they are not nuclear. They are chemical weapons. All of our guns and other weapons fit in this category. Okay? So, sun and stars are nuclear energy. Power plants. We have 3 of them, I believe, in the state of North Carolina right now. One down around Wilmington, one outside of Raleigh, and one outside of Charlotte. The vast majority of our power plants are not even nuclear power plants. They're coal burning. Okay? Which is why we have all the greenhouse gases and the issues we have with the power plant.
Which is why.
All right? So, most of our energy is not nuclear energy. So we're going to practice a little bit based on what you've learned and see where we're at. If you will, I want you to grab your Plicker card. We're going to do this very quickly because we're not going to spend a lot of time doing this. If you still have a laptop, put it up, or a calculator. As you're getting your card, put it up. If you don't remember the card, I'll have it up very shortly. This is how we're going to finish the day.
About 3.
I don't know, probably, but I can't swear to it.
Is it the same as laptop number?
It is not necessarily the same as a laptop number.
I don't know.
You hand me 9.
I don't remember mine.
You said it's not the same?
It may or may not be. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember mine.
So why don't you know that?
Is this one it? You see 8 anywhere? I think I get the other one. That really hurt my feelings.
Well,
I'm not sure.
You said pick any
Figure.
Oh, you can pick yours.
Don't pick any clicker.
okay.
Yeah, you're bad.
I don't even know.
Give y'all a new laptop.
This one is ancient. The hard drive still on the side.
Stop where you live.
The one you use over there works well.
Yeah, but that one's mine.
Yeah, you're not about to get slow.
I'm so confused.
I don't even know which one I use. I think I'm 7. We'll find out.
You just did.
All right, down to the bottom.
How do I know which one's mine?
There you go. There's a class roster.
Yeah, 3. What? You could have told me before I went back to my feet.
Oh, yeah, I'm right.
Oh, I have mine already. I was right.
Do you not have the right one?
Oh, is that not
Yeah,
right?
it is mine.
All right, ready?
Yes. No. Yeah, I'm ready.
She don't mind. Leave me alone.
Hold it up.
What's that? A.
He's playing something.
I was trying to read it.
A, B, C, D.
Answer
Brian.
change.
First one.
What you picture?
All right. So it is mechanical because it's sound. A is moving. I see him. I just ignored him. I hope you follow me. All right. So it's mechanical A because he's playing the violin, and B it's sound, which is why it's mechanical. All right. Next.
Oh, I wonder which one that is. Maybe it's.
But does she have it on cooler one though?
Oh my god, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is it on?
You see a little fade in this room?
Austin speaking.
That's highlighted.
Why you freaky?
Oh, no.
Very good. Everybody got it right.
Hey.
I've never seen him do that. We get so few all right.
I've never seen that.
Me either. But we don't ever get them all right.
So we can have a party tomorrow.
We should have like some food. We have some food.
All right.
Come this way. Come this way.
Down.
Why are you both of them?
Hold
Well, I don't know. Is it revealing?
What is lightning?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about
What is lightning?
I'm not sure about this game, but it's kind of tricky. But
All right. There we go. I
Another
don't know
word
what
for
it is.
lightning is electricity. You didn't even get your other. Who clicked Marvel?
I mean, that's like the worst.
Lightning is electricity, so it's electromagnetic. It's a waterfall. That's why I wrote it at the top. All right, you ready? We'll get you first.
You still got me first?
Come on. Stand over here. I'll come back to her. It's just thinking.
It's not. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Ready? I'm sitting here trying to tell you.
Who am I missing? Did I get everybody? This is why it's so shocking when everybody got it right. All right. It's mechanical. It's moving. The sun. I wrote it at the top.
Well, you can't write.
Oh.
That's small.
It's okay.
Do you know what it is?
Oh my
Still
God.
got it. It did, yeah. I wonder if it got the right one.
What?
You might get 100. Come back this way.
Greg, what would you pick?
I need Derek.
I almost put
Hands in it. There we go. And Tyler.
He was so mad.
Pants.
What is that?
It's the sun. I wrote it at the top.
No one's looking at the words, look at the picture. The first thing I looked at was the word.
Why is he still standing? I feel like it's just regular. Nobody cares.
Oh, I got it. Thermal.
It's nuclear. We just did that one. Sun and stars are nuclear.
I'll do it, I know.
All right, let's see if we can't get 100 for this one.
It looks like meat. It's just food.
What is that?
Food.
That's my kid.
No one is.
That's Camille.
Back over
Oh,
here.
you don't trust me.
I got tomato, lettuce, corn.
You go
Fish.
You're right. Hey,
I got it right. Oh.
it's chemical.
That's the last one.
Last one.
No, that's the last one.
That is the last one. All right, if you will. Put my cards on my desk. I was hoping for a little better on that last one, but I'm all wrong. You're correct, Urelli. I can't wait to try conversions tomorrow with this, and we can't even tell what type they are.